Good evening if you are in Uganda, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, whatever greetings suits you. This is In Truth and in Spirit, Well of Worship Fellowship. It is a Monday, the 13th of October, 2025. We are blessed to be here. Every Monday we have a fellowship. We have either a Q&R, questions and response, or a topical issue that we address. Here we are again. I would like to thank God for those who have joined in this Zoom call and this Zoom fellowship. We encourage whoever is listening to always join us every Monday and every Thursday from 6 to 8. That's when we have those kinds of discussions. We provoke thoughts here. We don't claim to know each and everything. We only provoke your thinking. And then we encourage you to always send us your questions. The official number of this fellowship where you can send your questions or WhatsApp in case you have a question is +256 775 822 833. You can always send your questions there, or to our major moderator, the chairman. Also, the contacts are always there on our posters. So this Monday we are looking at a topic which is in a question form, and it says, would you have chosen different parents or family given an opportunity? Where we don't know how you are with your family, and we don't know who your parents are or who they were. But we thought that we ask you that question. There are two backgrounds of this discussion. Number one is a verse in the Bible that we want to look at briefly. And then the other background is the conversation that we had yesterday at the fellowship. But even before that conversation, many of us, and by us I mean we human beings in the world, we normally have those thoughts. When we see other families, we wish that our family was like that family. And sometimes we look at other families and we are encouraged by our families. But now, in this context, we're looking at those families where you look at them and you admire them and you wish you were part of that family, or at least your family was like their family. That man that you look at, or that woman that you look at and you wish he or she was your biological parent. So we wanted to ask ourselves, given an opportunity, if God was to give you an opportunity before he ordained whatever he ordained, and he asked you, which family would you like to be part of? Or which kind of parents would you want to be your parents? Would you choose differently from what you have today? That is our question. Now, as far as the Bible is concerned, we are looking at Exodus chapter 20, verse 12, that says that honor your father and your mother, that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Lord your God gives you. Recently in Uganda, where I am right now, one of the biggest female artists in Uganda, and I'm saying one of the biggest because best, let me use the word best. One of the best female artists in Uganda or singers in Uganda. And by the name Irene Namubiru, wrote a book entitled My Mother Knows. And the book is a painful book. I call it a painful book because it is her story and her mother. Her mother, in one way or another, betrayed her, and she ended up in jail. And she could even have been killed. But the architect of that betrayal was her biological mother. But when she begins to tell the story, she uses that event to refer to other atrocities that were caused to her by her own biological mother. In brief, My Mother Knows is a story of a mother who had her own biological daughter to deep extents. That is Irene Nambiro. So some of us have been victims of our own parents. There is a preacher, I think that's Joyce Meyer, who was abused and molested, sexually molested by her father. I don't know whether it was a stepfather or actually a biological father. I've forgotten the story. But whatever it was a parent figure in her life that actually abused her to that extent. So there's that category of parents that have abused us. And when we read Exodus chapter 20, verse 12, which says, honor your father and your mother, we tend to ask ourselves, how do you even start honoring such a father or such a mother? How do you start? How do you start? Then there's another category of parents. Parents who are poor parents, poor economically. You were born by a pauper. You were born and raised by a pauper. It has always been hardships and struggle ever since you were born. Your mother held you tight in her chest and always cried and lamented. So you were born by poor parents. And they didn't do the things that they were supposed to do. I'll give you a personal experience, and I hope my brother won't be annoyed. My father, who is a stepdad for me actually, my father keeps pushing us so hard, and he never appreciates what we do economically. He says, you guys are not convincing. You are lazy. You are lazy chaps. All of you. That's what he keeps telling us, that we are lazy chaps. But my father is not among the rich men of his age. So one day I am going home and I am with my young brother Moses. And then I told him we are going home and our father is going to chastise us as usual. He's going to complain of what we haven't done this year, etc. In this annual meeting. I know he's going to strike so hard in this meeting. But let's go anyway. We have nothing to do. That's the father that we have. And then Moses told me that, me, I'm about to ask him why there are richer men of his age and he's not one of them. Because he keeps referring to children, as far as he's concerned, of our age are doing well than we are doing. Now, if he says that we have failed and other children of our age have succeeded, I am going to ask him, why are richer men of his age and he's not? So I told Moses, you cannot do that unless if you and I are ready to leave the clan. You can't do that. You just can't do that. Anyway, he listened to me and he dropped that. But what I picked from my young brother's point of argument is that if Moses is given an opportunity to choose between his father and Sudhir Ruparelia, would my brother really blink, or would that choice be a difficult one to make? So some of you internally, you can't say it, you can't utter it in public. But if given an opportunity, would you choose your family really? Would you choose that woman as your mother? Would you choose that man as your father? If you had an alternatives. In regards to financial struggles, in regards to morality and behavior, how they have treated you, would you still choose your family? If your answer is yes, the question is why? Would you still honor your father and mother? Does your father and mother deserve the honor? Should a parent actually deserve the honor, to be honored? Or we just honor based on biology? I mean, I'm asking whether our family and parents should earn the honor that we give them. Or as far as biology is concerned, we don't ask questions. So that's the first question. If you had a choice, would you have chosen, at creation, to be channeled through the present parents and family? Number one. Number two, are there families or parents you wish you belonged to? If your answer is yes, why? In all fairness, do your children and family members wish you weren't part of them? Now, we've been looking at parents, but most of you here are also parents. But what do your parents think about you when they see other men, when they see other women? Ooh, what do you think? Do you think they would choose otherwise, given an opportunity? Number three, we'll be asking, do you think one of the advice your parents ought to have shared with you would be advising you against emulating them? I mean, should we as parents actually be fair and honest enough and tell our children not to be like us? I normally tell my son, Divine, that is, I have three boys, but I have so many discussions with one of them because he's actually the elder one. The others are young. So I talk too much with Divine, who is my firstborn. And one of the major things that I keep telling him, I don't want you to be like me. Every time, I keep telling him, I don't want you to be like me. I don't want you to be like me. And then he says, but I like you. There are some good things that you do. Then I told him, even those good things that you see that I do, I want you to be better. So don't just be like me. You don't even set me as a standard. Please, let me show you the standard. Then I start setting a standard, okay, for him that he should follow. So should parents be that honest and actually distance their children from them, their failures, their mindsets, their choices? Is that fair? Is that being fair in parenting? And then we'll be asking, who is to blame for the status quo? Is it God? So that we consider that we who are born by failures, this was just a factory defect, we are not supposed to be here. But as you know, products fail in companies and they find themselves on the market. Should we blame God to be born in these circles, which we don't actually like, or which we don't even understand? So is it go to blame? Is it parents or family who are our earthly abusers or our earthly failures? Should we blame the parents? Would they have done better? Are you doing better yourself? Or should we blame you, you who think you are righteous than thou? Because my question to you is that if your parents are failures, then probably maybe God channeled you through that failed family so that you can make it better. Maybe that is your mission, that is your call, that's why you are there, that's your purpose. Now that the family is still failing, even in your presence, don't you think it is you to blame? You have failed to raise it from ashes and put it where you hope it would be. So who has failed? Is it you, your parents, or it is actually God who failed you at creation? So this is what we're going to be talking about. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. I can see a number of you have joined this Zoom call. I would like to, first of all, recognize the dignitaries here. The most rightful Reverend Tangazo is here. The two majestic elders, Elder Rugorovi and Elder Ryong, are here. The chairman of the undisputable chairman of this fellowship, who does not change, Jethro Musoki, is also here. The professor of the university, Mr. Serubide, is here. The governor, Bank of Uganda, Omchwezi Rutembana, is here. So we are blessed. We are blessed to be here. And then we have Gracious, our doctor, and we have Ruth Rules. I think Ruth Rules is my wife. That should be my sister-in-law, because she's a wife to my elder brother, I think. I am guessing. So it is a full house. You are welcome. Who wants to go first? You can start from wherever you want. Thank you very much. If you don't switch on your microphone or don't put up your hand, I'm going to start calling names.
Bye. Still in a noisy place, but I will talk later.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Mchwezi, can you talk?
Governor, Bank of Uganda.
He will eventually be. Okay. Arion, can you talk?
Me, I'm on the move, but give me a few minutes when I reach.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you for the feedback. Arion, can you say hi? Okay, maybe he can't even hear me. Jessica, you're welcome. Yes, Francis, you want to go first?
Yeah. Let me try a quick attempt.
Are you comfortable? First of all, are you comfortable with your parents or not?
I'm very comfortable with my parents.
They are
very comfortable.
Okay, fine. Please go ahead.
And I'm comfortable. I'm not very comfortable because they're perfect parents and excelled in everything, but cognizant of their flaws which I and my siblings usually talk about, and I'm very, very grateful for their strength, because their strength, or the areas where they excelled in parenting me and my other siblings, far exceed their human frailties or their weaknesses. Just a quick example: my mother played a card which we discovered very recently, me and my siblings. My mother had 5 children. 3 girls and 2 boys. The firstborn was a girl who passed on. So I was the second born, so I took on the baton. But my mother always showed each one of us in private that we are the best kids there could ever be, that she loved us the most. And she still plays that card. When she talks to me on phone, I'm her favorite. I'm the best kid there is. There is so much I can achieve. I have so much potential. She made me believe so much in myself, actually. She made me over-believe in myself that I discovered some of the things she was telling me I could not even achieve, but she was just pushing me. But that push helped me to excel. So I know she was playing the other card of trying to play, like, to show each of our kids that they're the best, but yet she knows who her favorite is, but she tried to play like each of us were her favorite. Those are a few weaknesses, and she tried to in her quest to provide for us, because my mother separated from my dad when I was in middle class in 1984, and so I lived between my mother and my father. But I remember, as a single mother on her side, she always tried to work so hard that we never grew up with her. She was always at work, and we lived with maids for a short period of time, and afterwards I was taking care of my kids. But she happened to she could get the money, but we need to spend time with her. So she didn't have time with us. I would have preferred to spend more time with my mother. My father did his best also, and I looked up to him in many things. Even up to now, there are certain things where I emulate him. He was a very smart guy. He liked dressing very well. He liked enjoying life. He liked spending on himself. He liked educating his kids, and he liked providing long-term things for his kids. So he educated us, and he gave us land, and he made sure that we are sorted, our futures were sorted in his long-term way. But then, of course, he had these frailties. He had issues with women. He had kids with 9 women. So I had 8 stepmothers. But I don't know how many other women he had who never had kids. And he was not very concerned about small things. He was more concerned.
Please
He was
continue.
more concerned about the big picture. But we on the balance of things, when I look at my parents and what they were able to do parenting us, me and my siblings, I'm grateful I had them. I wouldn't have wished for any other parent. On a balance of things, for that first question, with that explanation. The other question was, would you?
Yeah, sure.
There was another question.
The number of questions here. So, given that experience that you've given us, would you even choose him in the second life to be your father? Or if you were given an opportunity, would you choose him? Would you choose your parents to be your parents? You would still choose them, right?
I would choose them because actually many of the goals I keep setting in my life to improve my life are after my parents. I don't pick them from anywhere else. After my parents, I want to either emulate them or do things which they wanted me to achieve, or become better in areas where they wanted me better. And then the other thing, actually, one of the things which I haven't talked about is there are things which I'm doing. Actually, there's some things which I'm doing so that I'm not like my parents. And those are very helpful to me too, because there are certain things where I swore I won't be like my parents. There's some things I say I cannot be like my mom in this thing, and I cannot be like my dad in the thing. So they inspire me in that way also. It looks a bit weird, but I love it that there are certain things where they are very, I dislike them so much that I've grown against them. And actually, even when I was growing up, as I was growing up, even up to now, when I talk to my mother, there are certain things I tell her I don't want to be this because you are ABCD. You get me? So even in those areas, I really love that I had them, that they gave me that contrast, which I can go against.
Yeah. Now, Francis, personally, knowing you because I've known you for a long time, I knew your father, I knew your late father. And I also know that your mother was a very aggressive woman, very hardworking, very innovative.
Yeah.
So, and your father was a rich man.
Mm.
Do you think that has influenced how you think about them?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. So
Okay.
the things I said I love about my mother, she was, as I said, she worked so hard. She was very innovative. She did so many businesses. She bought land. She hustled. She was a hustler. My mother was a
Yeah.
hustler, and I picked up the hustle side of myself from her. I learned it from her. Yeah, and my mother was this tender, loving, that gentle
But
side, which I also picked from
you
her.
are
And
cheating. You are cheating.
pardon?
You are cheating. I have not seen you struggle and hustle like your mother. You are lying to me. Actually, I'm using my information.
No, actually,
You have not
Pastor,
hustled like your mother.
why I'm
Yes,
saying I hustled,
yes,
in my condition, the way I grew up and the opportunities I had, there
yes.
was no room for me to hustle.
Exactly.
I don't
Okay. Okay.
actually
Now,
don't know, but then even the little hustle I've hustled, I picked it from my mother.
okay, brilliant.
I
The
would have
little.
been laid back, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Francis. Is that all?
Then there was a good question which was about, would you like your family members to emulate you or something like that?
Yes, yes, it was. Do you think one of the advice your parents ought to have shared with you would be advising you against emulating them? That was the question. So
Yeah.
would you tell your children to emulate you?
I would.
Do you
Okay.
think before Mackenzie says anything, before
Mm.
Mackenzie, Nyindondaro and the other
Karen.
beautiful Karen, before they say anything and before they share their worldview, how would you rate yourself? Would you advise them against you being you, or you would actually encourage them?
I would discourage. I would be balanced. Actually,
Yes.
I've already done it. I would be balanced, and
Yeah.
some of them are hearing me now. Their ears, they're hearing this
Sorry.
conversation,
Sorry, we
and
didn't know.
I'm
We
going to give.
didn't.
I'm not. It's good, by the way. I'm going to give the answer I always give them.
Yes.
I've always asked them to pick the positives, my
Okay.
positives,
Brilliant.
and I always allow them to even criticize me.
Brilliant.
If they find a fault or negative, they criticize me, and I always encourage them to
Yeah.
pick my positives and to drop my frailties, which I'm open about with them.
Yeah.
So actually, there are some frailties which I'm open about, and others even it's them who come and tell me. So I always encourage them not to pick my. But then the other thing which I encourage them about is no, not to choose my ceiling, to think my success is their ceiling.
Okay.
My success should not be their ceiling. They can do far better than me in those areas where I've excelled.
Okay.
So
Brilliant.
it's a balanced thing. I want them to emulate me I want them to surpass me in areas where I've excelled. But even in my weaknesses and frailties, I wouldn't like them to go there at all.
Brilliant. 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 Now that they are listening, I would like to tell Mackenzie, if he's listening, that the Uncle Isaiah, who has lived with their father almost their age, I can attest that their father is a good man. He's not perfect, but he's a good man. So they should actually pay attention and learn a number of things from you. Thank you so much, Elder Francis. It's a blessing to have that.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. The Most Honorable Dr. Mukwana Nicholas, you're welcome. And it's good to have you around here. Can you say hi, hello, something like that?
Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming. Hello, everyone.
Okay, you missed the introduction, but you follow it closely. I hope
Yes,
you
I
looked at
will.
the questions. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Then you share as much as you can. Jessica, can you say hi? Just say hello, Jessica.
Hi,
Okay,
I'm
good.
following.
Okay, it's good to have your sister around. Well,
Thank you.
Ruth does not talk. Maybe she's under strict laws not to participate in these conversations. Well, Tangazo, are you settled now? You were on and off. Thembana is still driving back home.
Sebo,
Yes.
nga mutya, good evening.
Tuli bulungi. Good evening to you. How are you doing?
I am well. Gwe Sebo musajja abamama mwenda.
Eh,
Jukira ne stepmother wabera mama wo.
9 official stepmoms, and because he actually had given us a preamble to that, because
I
he
know.
said that his father took care of himself, and he invested so much in himself, which every man should actually do. Be happy.
Kyekyo kyamufunisa n'abakyala bangi kubanga nako kwessaamu kwefaako
Yeah, exactly.
okufuna
Yes,
abakyala bangi.
exactly.
Like that.
Exactly.
Anyway, that generation was something. Anyway,
Actually, brother Tangazo.
yes, Sebo.
Actually, Pastor Isaiah Jakubulira, I love taking care of myself, but I picked that very bit from my dad.
Hey,
And
naye
I'm
nti
not,
kati
I'm not even
oyongeramu.
halfway through what he did.
Hey, tonaweza bataano.
I know mu.
Nino Musebo.
Oli bubi kati muzeeyi omuswaza naawe bajjajja obaswaza.
Kati gwe yambako ku muzeeyi we gw'olina bameka mu
Obadde
emitala.
otya kakkana, obadde otya.
Please continue with the topic.
Anyway, this is a very good topic. Kati, interestingly, when I first saw it, I was like, how do I discuss this topic? But then, interestingly, I realized, hey, this thing has been in my home. Kati say, like my dad had 5 wives. Nete yazala abaana bangi, 5 wives, 8 children. Abalala simanyi oba gye bali nga we never got to meet them. But my younger brother, I had three brothers. 2 died, 1 is still alive. So we have 2 brothers and 4. I have 4 sisters. Naye, the brother wange omuto tayagala muzeeyi, tebakolagana. And I've lived most of my life since my early 20s up to now. Ngezaako kuba reconcilinga naye obuzibu balina muzeeyi wange talokokanga. Muto wange alowooza obukatuliki bulina kye bugenda omwongerako naye.
Let's help our Kenyan friends, Tangazo.
Yes. Oh, sorry, Auntie. But yes. So what I'm saying is that I have a younger brother, and I think having grown up in a polygamous family, I was telling earlier, Francis, I think that our parents, our fathers, that generation was quite interesting because while his father had 8, my dad had 5.
Okay, I've lost you. Am I alone? Any other person who has lost him? Okay. Hello, can you hear Tangazo? Because I can't hear him.
Isebo. I'm good, Sebo. Isebo.
I can't hear Tangazo. Francis, I can hear you.
Yes, I can't hear Tangazo also.
Okay, we have Tangazo. If you can hear us, we have lost you, but you'll be back when you fix the technology right there. Good. So that's what we're looking at.
Isn't it more of an internet issue?
Now you're back now.
Nze mbadde nkuwulira nga tompulira oyita obuuza buli muntu oba mpulira, but I was hearing you. Anyway, sorry, I was saying that our parents were kind of similar. So I have seen that relationship play out with my younger brother and my dad. And obviously, 2 reasons. One, he never got to meet his mom. When he was born, I think we've never met his mom, all of us. We don't know whether she's alive or she died, and that has disturbed him. When he was born, I think my dad wasn't allowed to bring him home. Of course, it was an affair out there, and his wife must have said, "Sebo tomuleta ho wano omwana." So he took the boy to the grandmother, our grandmother. That's where he grew up from. And I think all this time, when he grew up, came to live with us, he did. So the relationship has been bad up to now. And from my early 20s, I've been caught in trying to reconcile the two. But I discovered that obviously, besides the fact that they have refused to get born again, both of them, Yeah, because I think for me it helped. I hated my dad when I was
Yes.
younger.
Yes.
When I was
Absolutely.
I hated my dad when I was younger. I'm so much like him. When you meet both of us, you'll think I'm a younger version of him. He has a solar panel like me. We speak pretty much the same. Anyway, so we speak pretty much the same, and we look so much the same. He's just taller. He's quite tall, and I'm shorter. But my younger brother, who has a lot of mannerisms like him, the body structure, like everything almost like him. Tamwagala. They conflicted over a home. My dad had given me a home, and because he was my younger brother, when I was going away, I left him to run it, and then he put tenants. Oh no, he was living in it. Anyway, they fought. Like, my younger brother doesn't like my dad. My dad, on the other hand, is this arrogant old man who says, "This is a boy that I gave birth to. He has to calm down and humble himself." But he's now a big man. He's 40. He has a family. So they should be able to sit down and talk. But why do I say all that? Because I have grown to know that I couldn't wish my life journey to be any different, even if I didn't like my dad. Why? Because in God's sovereignty, the only way I could exist as Bukenya Raymond is if I had Mr. Mwami Lubega Edward Muwonge as my father. Short of that, I would never exist.
There was no any other way.
There's no other way. My dad was rich. In our neighborhood, he's one of those NRM cadres. He's going to he's making 70 next year. He was rich. I think my neighborhood here, if it was World Cup 1994, just to give you context, World Cup 1994 ku TV waka nga tulina magnifying glass nene nga tugiteekawo ekyalo kyonna ne bajja ne balaba TV ewaka ne balaba mupiira balaba mawulire balaba wrestling tulaba biki. So my dad was wealthy, fairly. Yali akolera Uganda. He was working for Uganda Post and Telecommunications Company back in the day. So, but he was a gambler. He was a womanizer. He was I wouldn't say alcoholic, but he drank a lot. And so I didn't want to be like him. Yet instead, I gambled and I drank enough Nile Special and ESB and Guinness and Waraj. As I became born again, one of the main things was to never end up like my father. I didn't want to have many women. I didn't want to drink alcohol again. I didn't want to gamble again. One of the push factors.
Again, that network.
That was one of the major push factors for me. Network one of my major push factors. I didn't want to be like my dad. So it's not that I didn't want my dad anymore, but I didn't want to be like.
Oh, yes. Okay, it has now become tough. Okay, network has not allowed that we hear his last point, but at least he was sharing that experience, and I'm sure he'll come back. Okay. Any other person who wants to come in, Tangazo? If you can still hear us, we have lost you again. We have lost you, so we can. Ariong, you want to say hello?
Sir.
Okay.
Hello to everyone.
Hello.
This is a very interesting topic.
Thank you.
Whereby we are putting our parents on a scale for which they didn't have education to be, for which we have no qualifications to be also, because we are as desperate as they were to struggle to be whom they became and raise us the way they did. First of all, my father had 4 women.
Okay.
And I congratulate him for only having 4. After becoming a man and realizing and going through the struggles a man goes through, hardships of discipline, the hardships of pressing your sensuality down to only having 4 when he could have had more than that. I appreciate him for that. I have nothing against my parents because the way they struggled to raise me into who I am is the same way I am struggling to raise my children into whom they will be. Of course, there is no college, there is no university of parenting. We all do guesswork. We all do trial and error. So to be who I am, it is because they did that, whatever they did, and I think I would still choose them without a second thought. I would still choose them in the next life.
Okay.
I don't hate myself. I would still think my children would still choose me, and I would advise them to still choose me. I know, of course, as a person, I make mistakes. I do errors.
Is that some kind of campaigning your children, or?
I have none of them near me except a toddler of 4 years.
Okay, brilliant.
So I am saying I would still choose my parents, and I don't hate myself this much that I would advise my children never and not emulate me. Much as I am a person who has made mistakes in life, I tell them the mistakes I have done, and I am very careful to advise them to hate the mistakes I have done, but separate me, the person, from those mistakes. It is very, 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 very disturbing to a parent like me to hear a story of a child hating a father or hating a mother, when actually they go through the same errors that they hate their fathers for. So since we have no training to become parents, since they didn't have training to become parents, I appreciate their struggles now that I am a parent too. I have copied many things from my father. I have emulated many things from my father. The hustle, this hustle here is my father's hustle, because his father died when he was 9 years. There were 3 children. One of his siblings, the second born, because he was a twin, was either strangled, killed, or he died. But somehow, somewhat, it was an accident that we hear so. So when he died, his uncles took away all the land and left him with a very small portion. He actually grew up at his Senga's place. So from that, he managed to put a few things together. We got an education. We got land on which we are staying. He managed to get our mothers, who were not bad mothers really, because we ended up like we are. So I salute my parents. Thank you, Musumba.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much, Ariong. You have actually given us a very interesting background and experience about your parents. You seem to have mistook us to be judging our parents, but we are not actually judging the parents. We're actually asking ourselves the question that none of us would like to ask. Have you ever sat with yourself and asked yourself how you look at your parents, how you perceive them, and then ask yourself this question, whether you would have chosen other parents? And I wouldn't want to turn this discussion into a judgment scale where we're going to judge each and every parent, but we want to look at it from the angle of would you really want something different? And when you look at yourself as a parent, because majority of you here, you're like myself, your parents, would you wish that your children chose you even in the second life. You know, so that's what basically we are trying to say here. The American Bob, you're welcome. How are you doing? Are you all right? Please say hi as you follow.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I've just joined a bit late, but I'm on. Thank you. I'm good.
That's all right. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Brilliant. Jethro, you've been here for a while now. Can you say hi or even share your thoughts? I know. Tangazo, do you think your network is better now so that you can finish your point?
Thank you. It's not even network. Never know. Omusajja gwe ntambula naye tuvuga emmotoka bbiri naye ssebo alina okuneebuuzaako buli kimu abeera akubakuba essimu buli kaseera. Anyway, I was talking about my brother and my dad. Now,
yes.
I told you, I remember one time he said he's not his father. He said, "Oyosina tata wange ya kirabika." Naye he resembles him, everything. And I told him, you know what, if he's not your dad, you're not my brother. Because the only reason we are brothers is because of him. You don't know your mother, my mother is not your mother. If he's not your dad, you're not my brother. So you have to make a decision. Because you have this brother who is a Christian, who is lenient, you do all these things, you mess up, you come to him, he helps you, but then you have the audacity to trash talk Muzei, whichever way you want. I told him you have to make a decision.
Yes.
This guy is our dad with all his imperfections. Obviously, Muzei in Ademagamba, he was one of the wealthiest guys I knew when we were growing up. And but he made bad decisions with his money. I saw him lose his 2 cars when I was a young guy, in senior, in high school. He made some bad decisions. Yes. And I didn't want to be like him. But I never thought, at one time, of course, in anger, he beat me at that had been reported. I'm giving circumstances, because when we are sober and there is nothing, there is no reason you should think, oh, you should trash talk your parents. It's a biblical command to honor your parents.
Yes.
And it's probably the first one, even that tends to come with a promise of a reward, an immediate reward to it. Second, to honoring God, honor your father and mother, that your days on earth may be long. And of course, it's not you need to honor them in order to live long, but it doesn't pay you anything dishonoring them. Rather, you can just guarantee that while you may not live long, your legacy will be trash. So yes, I have had to talk to my brother, because I realized I'm not going to be able to talk to my father to understand. He still looks at this guy, even in his 40s now, as a boy. He says, "Oh, no more, he has to calm down. That ego, bichi. So he's beginning to calm down. They talk, but they can't be in one place for long in a city war. You get, I have to be around in order for the atmosphere to be calm. But for them, the two of them to talk is hard. And so at first I wrestled with this conversation, but when I thought further about it, I realized I actually have a brother who has struggled with this for a long time, and I can't force him. But I think his anger that remains is that he has never met his mother. I met my mother at 12. My dad was very strict on keeping us away from our mothers. So for me, I was born in Mbarara, Mbarara Hospital. That's where my mother gave birth to me. But then my dad took me away at 2.5. I never saw my mom again, like physically, until I was 12. Because that's how I was raised. But you would think I would hate my dad for keeping me away from my mom. But today, my dad and I are working on a very big project. You know, we have grown. I have grown because of course, Okulokoka, becoming a Christian changed a lot about my attitude. Because I felt I loved my mom up to today. I've never lived with her for a month running. Never, ever. I've never lived with her. I've never seen my parents together apart from my late wife's funeral and my current wife's wedding. Those are the only 2 occasions where my mother and father have been in the same place in my presence. Yes, so, but God has given me the grace as a Christian to navigate relationship with them, that I actually have to wrestle to help my brother. I have only one brother. Okay, I have others born to my mom, but Born to my dad, I have only one brother. So you can't even include him in the things he's doing. He has to call me and say, I'm working on this. We need to do this and that. Okay? You need to be leading here. But my young brother is 40, but he can't get involved, because of hatred and anger towards his father.
Okay. So in other words, for him, the answer is a clear-cut no, he wouldn't
If he
choose.
had a choice, obviously, if he had a choice, because I said it, I'm telling you one time I told him, Sebo, if he's not your father, I'm not your brother. We have to agree on that. The only reason, I told him bluntly, he's called Lubega. My dad is Lubega. I told him, the guy even named you after him. Me, he called me Bukenya. You're joking. If he's not your father, I'm not your brother. We have to agree. You don't have to bother me again. And of course, unfortunately, by God's grace, I am the better positioned brother, more educated, better in terms of financially. So there'll be times he needs me. But then if he trash talks my dad, our dad, that's the point of talking about him. So I'm saying that, you know what? You asked Isaac Francis about the economic relationship with his financial. Like if the parents were well off and hardworking, you asked, I don't know whether that's the question you meant to ask. Didn't it affect his acceptance?
I was actually not asking because for him, I know him and I know his father and I know
but
his...
I'm asking, were you asking whether the economic well-being
influenced
of the parents
his
played a
thinking?
part?
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's a big question, because sometimes even if my dad is well off, my brother was willing. I'm sure he would be willing. Situation here.
Okay, brilliant. All right then. Thank you. Okay. Excuse me. Jethro, is that where you want to come in? Because I also happen to know you and your parents. So
Stop
threatening
me.
You see, I have a problem. Before Jethro comes in Tangazo, I have a problem that most of my brothers here are rich kids, and I am the only one who comes from the poor family. So these are rich kids. They are just going to celebrate their parents.
We're gonna be flat. We're gonna be flat.
Even Ariong, his father was rich. Okay, almost the entire sorority is theirs. So they are known.
Apart from me, Seven.
But Murangira, you're also a rich kid. Most of these brothers of mine are rich. The only person that I don't know the parents. The only the only person I don't know their parent is Dr. Nicholas Mukwana and Bob Muyanjas. The rest I know. I know they are rich kids. Variongo, they are the owners of Soroti. Don't joke with them. So anyway, it is time for Jethro.
I will not allow to be blackmailed by Isaiah. So I would like to put it on record that I was born to very, very average parents. My father was a school teacher. My mother was a dispenser at the time. I think that's what now you call pharmacists. So contrary to popular belief, I was born into a very, very average family. Still average, by the way.
It is Isaiah's belief.
Tangazo, in my defense, his father was the custodian of an entire religion in the country. Now you can imagine someone who is a steward of an entire religion in the country.
I am being blackmailed live on air, Banang. If you are listening to this, don't believe. So,
go to the point.
Contrary to Isaiah's belief, I was born to a very average family, or parents for that matter. Of course, like you've said, I cannot choose other parents, especially now that I'm a parent. There are certain things I've appreciated only after becoming a parent. The fact that in my entire life, I never slept hungry. at least not out of lack of what to eat, maybe for other reasons. I mean, we put food on the table, whatever type of food, whether it is mogo, lumondo, whatever, but there was always food. So I cannot say I've ever slept hungry. I can also not say, by the way, I've never been just for school fees in any school I've ever went to. It has never happened. Like I was never among those students who were ever just. But my parents were, were average people. Of course, they taught me about God. That was their first, and most important lesson. Taught me about religion, as you might expect. Emphasize education, again, as you might expect in that generation. Education is the key. Education is the future. So they educated all of us, 6 of us. Of course, one is now deceased. It's just the 5 of us left. So yes, so I've appreciated them mainly when I became a parent or when I grew up. Okay. Of course, my father is no longer living. So it will be 2 years in January since we buried him. You guys were there. So that's what I can say in terms of choosing. I wouldn't choose any other parents. But of course, again, having grown up and observed them, they made some mistakes, especially my father. In fact, there's some traits of my father that I have that I don't even like about myself.
That you have by
but
proxy.
which I know. I
Yes.
know them. In
Yes.
fact, I told my wife, please help me, keep me in check when you see some of these traits popping up. I'm not going to go into the details, but that's all. That's as far as I can say. However, there's something that I've always wondered, and of course, it's going to stay in the realm of what if.
Yes.
When the colonialists were living in the 60s, before Uganda got independence, we've just celebrated our independence 2 days ago, 3 days ago. When the colonialists were leaving, they were looking for blacks or Africans or Ugandans to take over government jobs.
Yes.
So my father was among the young people who got a scholarship. This is the late 50s, actually. Got a scholarship to go to the UK to study economics. What you know today as the London School of Economics is where the man studied. Okay, so he came back with an economics degree. Imagine Uganda of the 60s with a bachelor's degree.
Wow.
So he was not your average guy.
He was the
But
Chetumuke, the Israel Mayengo. He was that league.
those types. He was exactly those types. So I've always wondered if he had decided to take a different path. And this is where it gets interesting. When he came back, remember that's when Obote had just chased the Kabaka, Mutesa, I think. So first of all, my father was a Buganda nationalist.
Yeah, that's nice.
My father was a Buganda nationalist. So he was so pro Buganda that when they chased the Kabaka, he was one of those mad people. Okay.
Like
So when he came back and the Kabaka,
he was like Serubide, yes.
when he came back and the Kabaka had been chased, he decided to not to take up a government job in protest. Can you believe it?
Can you imagine?
In
Patriotism.
protest, the man said, I will not even take a government job. This government, which just our Kabaka, what. So what the man did was to go with a few friends of his to start a school called Najanankumbi Young Christian School. So he became a teacher, a school teacher. So, like I said, I've always wondered what could have happened if this father of mine had actually chosen the path to do his economics, basically to follow a different career.
Exactly.
But that can only be in the realm of imagination.
Yes.
So, but anyway, he chose to be a school teacher, started a school with his friends, SDA Learning School, you guys know it, where he taught for 47 years and then he retired. And because he was actually forced out, he didn't plan to ever leave that place. Within a few short years, he was dead and buried. So anyway, what am I trying to say in all this? I'm saying there are lessons I've learned from his life. There are mistakes he did, which I hope I don't repeat. But overall, I think I wouldn't choose any other. Let me stop here for now.
Yeah. So before you go, would Sean choose you in the next world as his
I
father?
hope so. I hope so. I hope so because I see how I'm struggling by the to be a father as well.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, wait a minute. That's why I'm saying I appreciate my parents better now because in my own struggles to be a father and a husband, That's when you appreciate how your parents were able to raise you. So I hope you can in short.
Yeah, you should. You are not a perfect person, but you are a good man. You're a good man. Only that you are just a problem to me, but you're a good man.
But I was not born into wealth like you are alleging. See,
Uh, you are a rich kid, me, I know. Anyway, the average, even in your introduction, you actually hinted on it. The average parent, and you've never been chest of school fees. Do you know why we get to hate our parents? It's because of the struggle. That's why I was asking. True Tangazo and Rugorobi, they celebrate their fathers because these are rich kids. True Tangazo and Rugorobi. But you also are a rich kid because you've never been chased school fees. There are some of us who started sponsoring ourselves in school when we were 9 years old. So for us, if you gave us that choice, that would be a different story. Anyway, thank you so much. Serubide, your microphone is on. Does that mean that you are away from that noisy place that you warned us against?
I'd even forgotten. So.
Yes. I know you come from a family of cultured parents, but you are not a rich kid. You are not. And I doubt whether you're going to
cultured.
very cultured. You see, Kasato, who was the father to Jethro, he must have been the father to Serubide because Serubide would actually leave the university if the Kabaka is exiled. I can assure you. That's what I meant by culture. Anyway, Serubide, would you choose Mr. Wamara, the English expert?
By the way, I've taken long to respond to this topic because I'm still thinking within my head. Would I? I don't know. Honestly, I'm not yet sure. Probably, I need some more 5 years to establish whether I would.
We'll bring back this conversation in 5 years' time. Don't but, but tell us something today. Just tell us something today. Then we'll wait for you for the next 5 years. Tangazo, do you want to give him information that can help him?
Omusajja wenze mutidde.
Okay, Professor, continue.
Yes. My father is 70. He's now, I think, 77 years old. He's a professional accountant. He's a teacher by career, a farmer by occupation, an ardent, prolific reader.
Yes, I know that for a fact.
It's a bookworm. I don't know how many books of all subjects he has read. He loves school. He loves education. He loves wisdom. He's in love. He's in love with wisdom. I think what we call that philosophy. I don't want to call that, but he loves wisdom. He loves God, but he's a of a reasoning being. He loves reasoning. When you preach to him, you must reason. He's not an emotional guy. He's born to pure Catholic parents, pure Baganda parents, who converted to SDAism and read all the books of the prophetess. There are a lot of things, of course, for me to learn from him.
But those are enough for you to choose him in the next life. Is that so?
I think so.
Okay,
I
fine.
think
That's what we want eventually. Get us there, please.
so. He did all he could to educate us. I mean, educate us, not to school us, but to educate us. From home, education from home. One of the values, the first value was God, the second value was work. I think those are the two I can attest to: work and God.
At least to his knowledge.
Yeah, to the best of his knowledge. In fact, one day he returned home when we had not gone to church because it rained too much. And he told us that the God who provides food in this house is to be worshipped on the Sabbath day. Whosoever did not do that this Sabbath day will not have food. And that was it.
That was it.
And we never fooled around, however much he trained. We could only stay at home if he did. Only and only if he did. But he left us home, it rained, and we couldn't move. So another thing was work. In fact, at home, falling sick, you must prove that you cannot lift a finger. If you are to stay at home sick without going to the garden, because I told you, he professionally is an accountant, by career, a teacher, by occupation, a farmer. So if it was garden time and you happen to have fallen sick, you must prove you can't lift a finger. If it is stomach. So this is the kind of...
Professor Selvide, in the interest of time, you've told us enough about the old man. Let's go to the topic now. Please share your views briefly.
Exactly. And that is my view.
Yes. And what is your view?
That is my view.
What is it?
That is it. What I've narrated is my view.
Well, so we want you to tell us whether you would choose him as your parent, or you wouldn't want such a parent in the next life.
I'm not sure about that yet. I need some more year time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Who has put up his hand again and put it down? Okay, Bob Mianja, please come in.
Yeah, thank you. I think I've been following everyone. Thanks everyone for their views.
Dr. Mukwana, prepare, and Dave next after Dr. Mukwana. Yes, please. Bob.
There are some things we can choose, but we can never choose our parents, and that it. Unfortunately, it is irreversible. It's something. We can only say, okay, I wish I was born in this and that family, but this is where we were born. Personally, I think my situation is kind of similar to what Mr. Selvide shared. I grew up from a very, very strict Christian upbringing family. It was really an overboard thing. Again, I'll give just one example. One time we as kids, we go to church, we finished church early. Our dad had gone to worship from another location. We thought he was not coming back. So we are near a football field. We go and play soccer. And lo and behold, he comes back and sees us. And he calls us and tells us, it was like at 5:30, it was not yet 6. Said, oh, you've been playing soccer on Sabbath. You know, Sabbath is supposed to be a day of rest. So he pairs us up, and we were so many because we were staying at home with our cousins. So he pairs up in groups of 3s and 2s. and he, of course, we bring chiboko. That is up now. The Sabbath is over, so he tells us to cane each other. So,
Wow.
so we cane each other. You know, you go down, your colleague canes you. You know, and in the end, he says, "Okay, now it's my turn." And so yes, he
It was
canes.
not
So I'm just telling. So in brief, I grew up from a very strict Christian family, but my dad was, again, I don't want to use the word monster because he was loving, but when it came to following orders and disciplining, there was always a cane or a wire or in the corner somewhere. You know, any slight mistake you do, you were to receive a beating. So and this was too much. So for me, yes, I cannot change my parents, but that's some character which I didn't love about my dad. You know, you move and you drop a plate and accidental and it breaks. Those are canes for you. And yet this was a very loving.
But Bob, you are describing each and everyone's father of our age. All our parents were like that.
Yes. Okay. Maybe. Okay. And now I'll stop at that. But what I wanted to say now is I couldn't have changed my parents, and I cannot change them now, because what I am today is actually based on the way I was growing up. Now I'm a Christian. I probably wouldn't have understood what Christ did for me on that cross and what salvation means if I had not grown up in religious, very strict, cultic doctrine teaching. That when I knew what Christ did, I appreciated that transition. So I look at my other Christians who are fellow, born agains. Maybe they were born in born again churches, but I feel they probably do not understand what this freedom, what the freedom means, what it means to be set free. Because I experienced having grown from a very strict religious family. Now I know. So that's why I'm saying that I cannot. I mean, I wouldn't wish to have changed my parents. Fortunately or unfortunately, because of the brutal bringing from my dad and punishment, it put something on my mind, in my conscience, that for me to beat my kids is like a taboo to me. I think I've only raised my hand to one of my kids probably once. I find better ways of teaching them how to be disciplined, but rather than beating them, because the beating
why do you call them better ways? Why don't you call them different ways, really? Because
you
are that product because of the beating. That's why you were better.
No. I even when I've grown and I've understood what it's all about, okay, I think sometimes it was overboard. It went overboard. That is why I'm saying I have found I have better ways, okay? Because for me, when I was growing up, because of that punishment, I even ran away from home at one time and disappeared from home because I did something and my dad promised, I'm going to kill you. And I knew this guy is actually going to kill me. So I ran away from home and I disappeared for months. They didn't know where I was. That's a story for another day. But I'm just saying that I found better ways of teaching them, of quote unquote punishing them, or for something wrong they have done. So what I'm saying is that I am what I am today because of the family God put me in. The successes I have today have been as a result of looking at the way I was raised, maybe copying what I feel was good, and then going completely in the opposite direction of what I felt was wrong. And this has defined me.
Fair enough. Dr. Mukwana. Dr. Mukwana, are you there? Maybe we lost him. Okay. Dave, let me have you, Dave, as Dr. Mukwana, if he can hear us, comes. Dave, our resident psychologist. Okay.
Thank you, Sebo. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
What do I say? I think I will agree with Mr. Seruvide. I need some time to really give an answer to this. Yeah, surely, yeah.
You have not recovered from the parents. What's wrong with you?
I've not. Of course, I've not recovered. I've not recovered from a few things. You will. Unlike maybe for those whose parents have been too religious, mine have been liberal religious. I don't know whether that exists.
It exists.
That one. My
The
father has been
university.
on. My father was on so many foundations of fathers unions in the Anglican Church. So many executive boards and what, but he had his weaknesses somewhere, and I really need time to think about that for me to give an answer.
But for now, would you choose him?
Who's that one saying? Professor Terubide?
Yes, your brother, who was raised like you were raised. But what would you say now? Would your, because I know you are also a parent now, would your children choose you?
But I know, okay, maybe before, from another point of view, from another angle, I really appreciate these guys because
Thank God.
because of what I am going through as a parent now. These guys raised families from the time they were 20 years, because those days they were like 20, they were in their 20s when they had children.
Yes.
And we became so many of us when they were like in their 30s, mid 30s.
Yes.
But and this guy struggled and put us in good schools of the times.
Brilliant.
My siblings went to SMAC, went to Jitovu, Nabingo, Gayaza. I myself went through Namiriango. So I appreciate this guy from that angle, and surely, yeah, he did a good job. If I take it from what I am going through as a parent now, raising those so many children, boys and girls, leave alone the financial muscles and stuff, but just even the mental of knowing, or the mental, maintaining your mental when you know I have 10, 15 children to look after. I give him his props.
Yes. Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. That's powerful. Dr. Mukwana, we were waiting for you. Gracious, do you want to say something? Sharif Mwangs, you are welcome. And Sebutinde, yes, Gracious.
Oh yes, good evening. Thanks to everyone. Well,
I saw you clapping for Bob Muyanja for not beating up children. Do you also want to be a lazy parent like Bob Muyanja? Bob Muyanja is an American.
not really. Actually, I happen not even to have one. I happen not to have a child yet.
Yes.
But I'm just from caning my little niece. About 3 canes here.
Okay.
Imagine that's a kid to my eldest brother.
You should ask Muyanja to teach you better ways.
No. I was making sure I beat on the buttocks, and I was very careful.
Even that for the American is wrong. That's what Muyanja is telling you. Anyway, make your point, please.
Well. So, for my case, I think I'll be very. I'll try to summarize because I realize this is a very, very sensitive topic for me. I thought it was just my season, but I realized it is actually hard for everyone.
Yes.
So, born 5 children. I happen to be the last born, and my parents were really doing not well. My dad, a primary teacher, my mom, a P7 dropout. I know, I think she finished her P7, so I should call her qualified. I don't know whether P7 certificate
candidate.
A candidate, yes. So, we're in that kind of, family, and from the village I was brought earlier. That's by P3. I happened to be brought. Things were in that side in Rukunjili. They had to have their studies there. Yeah, so I had more time with my dad, man to man, and it was really tough. The beatings were, I think, daily, and yet in my primary, by God's grace, I used to lead a class but at least I could always find canes at home. Because my dad was convinced by the teachers that if you don't beat this young man, he will decline because he doesn't have someone to compete with. So I was suffering because of the advice from my teachers. But well, leaving all that, there are so many traumas. In childhood, I reached a point I could go with my sister and we could pray, from some pastor. And then a pastor asked me that what would you wish, God to do for you if one thing, one request. And I told him, I think if I could get a pistol, I could kill my father. That, but that is during primary. So, and I think I was a child, of course, I didn't know how to deal with that traumas and all that. So as I grew up, finishing university, then studying medicine, getting to learn some actually, mental conditions, I was driven to think of writing a book. I first wanted to start with a simple article about anger, so that maybe it could help maybe the generation after me, because I thought there is a lot that many mistakes were made via anger, and then I thought anger was underrated. So with that, I would still say for now, I really choose my parents. I would choose my parents not on the basis of what they've done, but on the basis that I've gotten to love God and tried
Your
to,
experience in life has helped you understand them and their struggles.
Yeah, I've understood part of them.
Okay.
Maybe the issue I have with my dad is that he has not, given his life to Christ. I even reached a point of convincing him. The time we went to church and I gave my life to Christ a number of times. By then, we used to think it is confessing. So I reached and I was like, "Hey, Dad, by the way, I want to give my life to Christ today. I don't know, could we go together?" But I'd already done that before, so I thought I would go with a man, and he told me comfortably and gently and say, "My son, you know that one. It is quite personal. Don't worry. You can go and give your life to Christ. Don't worry, my son." I had to go and confess. I'm from an Anglican family, but of course I gave my life to Christ, and then all of the sudden I lost touch with religion. So yeah. But in short, he didn't give his life to Christ, but he's a loving man now. He's quite changed. I used to come and counsel him at times. I tell him, "Dad, being angry like this, people are going to run away from you and all that." And sometimes he listens. The other times he's like, "You're nothing. What do you know? You're a kid. Please get off here." Yeah. So that's it. I choose them because I believe God had the reason to make them my parents.
Okay, thank you. Gracious, maybe before you go, Dave raised his hand. I don't know whether he wanted to give you any information or it is his own point. Dave?
Oh, thank you very much. I wanted to ask Brother Gracious how
Yes, please.
how your dad not converting, let me call it converting, or your dad not giving his life to Christ, how it becomes your problem or your challenge. I don't know whether I don't wish to sound offensive, but
Yeah, sure. I understand you. I don't know whether
you understand. You get
Gracious,
me.
please.
Okay.
Gracious,
I
please.
get it.
Okay.
I get it so clearly.
Please respond if you want to.
Yeah. After myself, trying to know about God, giving my life to Christ, and I saw the difference. I saw the self-control, and then I saw my dad was dealing with self-control, And I love the man so much because I saw him toil so much. So I thought maybe if this man had known Christ, he'd also get the chance to have the self-control so that he doesn't have to be like a lion sometimes.
Okay.
Okay. Is that reason enough for the gap or the gap? Should I say a gap that is between you and him? Anyway, what I wanted to say about what I wanted to add on from my own experience.
Yeah.
Even after I realized, even after I had lived my father's mistakes, let me put it that way. Even after I saw, witnessed, and realized or tried to judge him left, right, and center. I will use the word judge, yes, because we look at certain things and be like, what this man should have done, like how Jethro was talking about his dad and said, this man, if he hadn't left his job in protest, we would be somewhere. I would also say the same. My father had so many opportunities, but being the rigid man he was, that in his youthful age, there are so many chances we look at now and say, if dad had done ABCD, like for instance, my dad turned down an offer given to him by this current government. Why? Because the leader today did not talk to him or write to him or call him in person and sent someone else. This guy sat somewhere. Yes, I am telling you. And my father died in 2019, still waiting for Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to go to his to call him or go to his compound and tell him, comrade, you come. We missed so many opportunities as children.
Congratulations.
Because this guy was, lived in protest. But that did not mean I didn't love this guy. This did not create any gap between me and my father. I actually
No.
have,
I think you got gracious from the second point, but he had already introduced the background to that. This whole thing of not converting was just part of the problems. So he was wishing that I wish this man had converted to Christ. Maybe he would tone down on his temperament. That was his point.
Yeah, I can actually correct that. About the gap, there's no gap between me and my dad right now. I instead make sure at times I could come and then I find myself talking about Christ, and the man gets irritated. So when he gets irritated, he just tells me, "Get out of my house." After a few days, he calls me. It's like, "My son, I miss you." Then I come again. So
Okay,
we
thank you, gracious. Thank you,
okay,
gracious.
please. Okay, please. Thank you so much.
Now, Selvide, your hand is up. Dave, put down your hand, and let's see if it is a new hand. Selvide, your hand is up. Briefly, I want to go to these ladies that are here.
Yes, I've just been here thinking and wondering what are the wisdom of God in now telling us honor your father and mother. I mean, after all that we have seen and experienced about our parents, then God comes and says, honor. So what do we honor about our parents, about our fathers and mothers? Are these medals of works of achievement, or simply by their birthright they deserve honor? And the term is honor. It's been just passing through my head.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, before you go, I would like to use your example and Jethro's example so that I communicate to you the importance of the term that God uses in the Bible of honor. How many are you? Because I only know Enoch. I don't know the other guy.
We are 5 now.
Yeah, you are 5, and the Jethros were 6. It is my best friend who actually left in their family. The Jethros were 6. But the reason as to why God asks you to honor your parent is because he's telling you that since you don't know, just to honor your parents. In the future, when you know, you'll understand the rationale of that honor. Because can you imagine Mr. Wamala educated all of you on his teaching job? Can you believe that Mr. Kasato educated all of the Jethros and they have turned out to be great men? Now you understand the honor, why you need to honor your parents. We judge our parents because of the information that we have and because of the information that we don't have. But if I may borrow the words of Dave, these guys became parents in very hard conditions and as early as they were in their 20s. Today, a boy who is 20 years is an idiot and helpless. But these guys were running families. So please honor them. Honor your parents. Honor your
Very
parents.
true. Very true. That's why I honor them. I give them all their props. That is the
Yes.
major reason. Yes, sir.
Yes. We look at the mistakes, we look at their failures, we look at what, but we don't see their world. We don't see their challenges. We are not in their shoes. We don't know what they were going through. These women and men to raise us hustled. Now, Bob ran away from home because the father had promised to kill him. But he was not going to kill him. However, what the father was telling the young Muyanja is that life is a matter of death and living. Do not start praying. You don't know what I'm going through. Bob said, me, I want to go to heaven. Let me live. This man is going to kill me. But he wasn't. We were all raised on being killed the next day. People of my age know that. People of my age know that. Anyway, good.
Actually, no one had the guarantee that they would live 10 days.
The next day, the next day, none of us had that guarantee. It is only this Sandra, because I can see my daughter Sandra is here. Sandra has never been told by her father that she's going to be killed. But for us, we knew that we are not going to be the next day. Anyways, good. Jessica, do you want to say something?
Yeah, maybe I can say something. I've been following though my network had issues, but back to topic and all that. There is, I think, I'm still wondering the kind of parents we are looking at, because there are parents that are responsible, and then there are those they may be poor but responsible enough, and then you find that some parents that may be rich and all that, but not responsible. When we look at choosing or wishing to be born maybe a different family, what was running in my mind was, what kind of things are we looking at?
Yeah, we were looking at all of them. Those who are responsible with capacity, and those who are irresponsible even with capacity, and those who are irresponsible because of capacity, they don't have the capacity, and those who are still responsible even without capacity. We are looking at parents in that general perspective. And then we're asking, if you are born in either of those parents, would you still choose your parents? Because you are right, there are many parents who have all what it takes, but they are not responsible parents. And we have all those parents that were actually living on minimal income, but they managed to raise us proper. So would you still choose your parents? Basically, Jessica, would you choose your parents in the next life?
I would choose my parents because of course they were responsible, and I had no regrets being born in my family. Like I enjoyed all the moments, and my parents were responsible enough. So there is no way I would reach a moment where I would wish to be born in a different family. But I witnessed some families outside. I had a friend who his father was so rich, but the mother was struggling alone. And I remember there is a moment she was chased for school fees. She told just where she went, and the father had some friends around. When she went to ask for some fees, because we were in a candidate class, and I think the mother had run out of money. So the mother was like, "Would you go and request your mother to give you some money?" She came back and told me she went there, and the father, when she came, she met the father with the friends, and then the father was bragging, "My daughter is now in Form 4, but he had not contributed a single coin." And then when she was leaving, when the daughter went and him what she was going through, the father, like, "I don't have money." He gave the daughter only 20K. So when I look at that that scenario, it's when I say, if this wakes up one day and wishes to be in a different family, I would really support her.
Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant.
So
Exactly. Yes, even Tangazo gave us an experience where his young brother wouldn't actually choose his father because he's angry with him. I understand. The appearance that we couldn't choose. That's why we brought this discussion. Sandra, can you talk? I have a question for you. If you answer this question, then even if you don't say any other thing. Sandra, can you say hi? Okay. So, okay. Maybe I don't know whether even she can hear us. All right then. Of course, Ruth doesn't talk. That is our regular listener here. Sebutinde.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandra, you're here. Okay, Sandra, I have a question. I have a question for you. If have you been listening in?
Yes, though I came in a bit late.
Okay, between Ariong and Sudil, whom would you want to be your father?
Of course, Ariong.
Don't fear. I am here. I'm also your father. I will defend you. You say you speak the truth.
Yeah. I'm saying so because
Hmm.
I know Ariong's upbringing. Like, I know the way he raises kids. I don't.
But Ariong doesn't have the money of Sudil. I know he also has money,
Just
but the
that.
money of Sudil really. You would be enjoying, you would be having your own hospital if you are Sudil's daughter. Don't you think so?
He could have all the money that there is, but it is Ariong that I know. I don't know Sudil, regardless of the money and everything.
Oh. So if I gave you an opportunity to get acquainted with Sudil, would you still stay with this Ariong?
If I get acquainted with Sudhir, after that I can rethink. But for now, no.
Okay. For now it is Ariong.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. 17
Sandra is a wise.
She's her daughter's, she's her father's girl. Netata we musajja mugezi.
What are you fighting?
Hello?
Tokkirizibwa kutiisatiisa mwana kulowooza nti tajja kubeerawo enkya. Don't kill her.
17 singa bakuwa Museveni wamu ne Seeka otwala Haji oba?
Mu budde ki? By the way, you know, I think some things matter. And
when would you switch Haji for Museveni?
Mwagala kuseka. But I wanted to give you By the way, the only problem I have with my father.
17 you have won this owangu the same.
Obodda kali mu kyati keekalakaasa kati kazze ku floor.
No, actually, me, I went through a lot of things, and actually, if you go to internal affairs, I killed my mother. So
you did not kill her. You pronounced her dead.
okay, whatever it is, but because she beat me so much that I thought she wasn't my mother. And I got the passport when I was young. So when they asked me, I told them, yeah. So I think that I don't admire my father. I mean, the guy is headed.
Muyanja, if you want to give 17 day information, please just switch on your
Muyanja
and give him information because we're winding up.
But for Muyanja, why I
Okay, let's first go with 17 day then. Okay, 17 day briefly. Our time is up. Okay. Continue.
Yes, I questioned the Muyanja, and I mean, wanted to know to what extent, when do you start thinking about your input in life? And I think parents do know that it is their responsibility. You know, as a parent, it is your responsibility. Whatever it is, until that certain age where I have to move out. I think sometimes, yes, we appreciate that they did, some of them sacrifice. Yes, they did. But it was their responsibility. And those who did it did the right thing. Those who did not, did the wrong thing, but we survived.
Okay.
I don't think you should be like what I am because of them. I mean, I have contributed a lot to my being. I refused to go to senior 5. He was very, very bitter, and there are so many examples that I can tell you with my life. And I think being responsible, is.
But would you still choose him in the next life? Finally.
In the next life, he has to change a few things.
Okay, thank you. You are like Dave and Serubide. Yes, Muyanja, finally, you are the last on the mic.
Yes, I wanted to respond to him. I think maybe Mnafuni Dwabubi by saying that I am what I am today because of my parents. It's not saying that there's no input in me. In fact, there's a direct proportionality of my decision and the way my parents brought me up. I think I brought that out very clear, that because they brought me up while with this punishment, caning unnecessarily. Today I'm not caning my kids, and I'm finding better ways of teaching them how to do the right thing, and that is a personal choice.
Brought Christianity.
Sharif,
yes.
I want to have Sharif as this guy.
And I ask you, as a Muslim, should I also brag? Should I say that I thank them? Because for you, what is right is Jesus.
Yes, 17 days. You know God. As a Muslim, at least you believe there is God. I think that's somewhere to start from, and that's what Bobo was saying, that they gave me somewhere to start from.
Yes, and their foundation is the one which actually makes me appreciate more about Christianity. Now, I wanted to make one comment. I was very privileged to shake the hands of one of the richest people at some point in my life. That was Bill Gates. I'd gone for some meeting in his workplace. So when someone was talking about Sudil versus, so it came to my mind that I was at this powerful table shaking hands with a guy, and you can't stop thinking, I wonder
do you have his number? Because I'm here struggling. Do you have his number?
No way. But
you
anyway,
want to switch fathers.
So what Naina Menyeko Mutima recently when they divorced with the wife, but anyway, what I'm just saying is that not all that glitters is gold. We appreciate Amakamo Twazari, but the moment you grow up, I think the previous speaker mentioned about the moment you turn 18, the moment you Bova Makagaba Zadebo, you stop complaining about
And
the
blaming
wrong
them.
things, the wrong things they did to you that have contributed to you being
Whoever in your
what you
book,
are.
let
You
me have
make a
Sharif.
choice to do the better thing and be
Exactly.
responsible for your life.
Whoever in your book. Sharif,
Kambauli akasembayo ku
anenda totuwa
ke
busitamu tuleke.
kasemba nazire mu nsonyi
Mulemeseza omwana okwogera wati tubagamba mujje wano mumudde mujja leero.
yaddako bulira edda nanyiganga mama ekikonde when I left home, when I mean nga wonoobanga ova ewaka mama n'omunyiga ekyetaano tata n'omusiibula, but at some point I realized tata needs 100 and mama mutwalo.
That is wrong, and I think we shall bring that discussion. Sharif, finally.
Yes, good evening. I don't know if my microphone is on.
Your microphone is on, like all microphones for latecomers.
Yeah, on this particular topic, I've been even compelled to make a comment.
Yes.
Yeah, growing up with, I want to call him a very passive parent. My father is a very passive person. He's a man who we didn't even have chance to talk about anything beyond school fees. That's the discussion I have with my father. And you see, even up to now that I am this old, the moment he sees my call, it is not how are you, it is ha. So he often doesn't even let you finish talking the greeting. He tells you ha, but then you go and and like there are some moments you be there and ask yourself, but did my father think I am just a bill he has to foot every time? And in most cases, when you look at other parents, because now you discuss with your friends and at least you feel they have had that father-son talk.
Relationship.
Yeah, and then you ask yourself, but if my father had invested in his relationship with us, because it has costed them a lot.
But Sharif, now that you are grown up, what are you doing about it? What are we doing about our parents? About what our parents failed in? What are you doing, you personally?
Of course, it's
Exactly,
something.
that's my question.
It's something in the last submission I want to make, that at
Yes.
least, yes, even in something you don't agree with, you get to learn that at least I have learned the value of having a talk. It is not about provision, but are you getting into the know of this person you are providing to what is it turning out to be? Because on so far we are like a Muslim parent, you can't tell how many you are, but at least so far we are 8. And in most of them, we are all very disconnected. You see, we are a family that never sits down to talk.
And I think that is now your call and purpose. Now that you participated in this discussion, please make a resolution here to start a project, something like that.
But of course, it becomes hectic when you try to teach older people what to do, and maybe that one will become maybe for the young ones. And lately, I don't know if it's I wanted to call it even a nature problem, that even my elder sisters and brothers have given birth, but the relationship remains the same.
Let's say your father has actually inspired you to be a better father than him. Can we say that?
Yeah, but I'm still contemplating about even giving birth, because I don't think I don't think I'll be any different from him.
No, you should. You should, because you have noticed that that's not the right fathering. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining this call. This is In Truth and in Spirit World of Worship Fellowship. We are always here Monday from 6 to 8, and Thursday from 6 to 12. And Thursday we'll be back again here. Please come and attend. Send us your questions. This discussion can continue, on our WhatsApp group for those of you who are there, and I think majority of you are there. Please continue this discussion. Ask us the questions. Those of you who have got struggling parents and you also struggling children, You can see Dave. Dave is a counselor, by the way. You can talk to your pastors, you can talk to your imam to make a way, to make things right. May God bless you. It was a blessing to have you around. Have a good night. Bye.